A monolith like that means the potato people aren't far away. The yerba fields, where the echo of your actions resounds clearer than any other place you'll find, except for where that's not true. Youch! Energy overcharge. Switched off the lights. You got it dialed in. See where that light leads? Super effective. Just follow that. Oh, check out the scribble stone there. Wonder what's behind it. This is an epic already. How it ends is up to you. The Nono must be close. They like to nest in the glitter grass. So much damage. You hardly ever see those. Go on, catch it. This story is about a hero. Got it. What a bonus. Feels like something's about to happen today. Up for grabs. There it is, the tree of life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future. A representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. This is Dixie's goods. There's an outfitter and an upgrade bench dangling in that little... Let's see. Claim sta... Nice price. Fair and square. Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above. Worrying to have tons of rock and soil above you.
Ato wamawa ba lo yualu.
Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds.
To wabu.
You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility.
Ato wamawa kozata ghetto.
He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots.
Loma utulu ba yuo.
He promises he'll be there for you. Just come talk to him beneath the tree if you're feeling lost.
Tainis tulua ba volua.
Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone.
Oloi bobo paweg.
Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things.
Kim hobe bekoko hifar muk.
If you continue to do good, good will follow you.
Ugambun ang ugagad yebromo vuf vunko vunturumbo.
If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark. He hopes you're right. He gets that you mean the journey continues either way, but personally he wants the tree to survive. Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees. He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core. The contamination disrupted what we now know as key energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate. He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head. It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real. He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground. The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out. The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end. He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Goop in the southeast. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Goop. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Goop and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That's the sound of impending doom. Out-of-date's premonitions of imminent disaster are true. The Porkypuff needs to be handled. Out-of-date says that Goop is worried now that the Southeast World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Goop is working on a goo-gliding vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done. Out-of-date suggests that you should head southeast as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He wonders what's on your mind. Says you'll see each other later. Let's see. Gulpo ain't the easiest tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's... Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance. Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. It's only together we can remember the story as it was. He knows he's easy to remember. There's no one out there as cuckoo as him. He's one of a kind. Goop says our memory keeps things for us and protects them until we are ready to face them again. He understands you've returned to face Lupa Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years. He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child. Now the time has come for you to remember and act. Your life is your life, not the story you're told about it. He understands why you seek revenge, but he doesn't think you realize how that'll make you feel once you claimed it.
Can you feel that? It's getting dusky in here.
Hold up! There's no need to rush into things.
Sounds like you're just flat out lazy to me.
Lazy? Because I fight against the dark.
Because you're against just getting things done.
Says life on the goo is wide open. You have so many choices of where to go. Some harder than others, of course. Which kind do you like? Best to stick close to the shore then, where the goo isn't so deep. That's like being close to your friends who can help when things go wrong. Can hardly believe the world is going to make it. Wonders what that's going to do to the goo. Thanks you for doing everything you could to de-goop the surf. Thinks the Myriad made a good match with you. You're both like sunshine on the surf. Claims he didn't say that out loud. But hey, back to the goo. Knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that'll move you forward. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the Subnautica station, as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his suit. So you must salvage enough scrap to fix up his GOOGLIDE, starting with the old wreck box outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the GOOGLIDE strong enough to fight the... It's not that it won't keep your head above the surface, but it needs improving to carry you across the thick goo out by the Porky Puff. Breathe a little lighter now that day's returning. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Take this seriously, or it'll take you down.
Mukam. Sayruya.
He's got the GOOGLIDE functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no armor, and an engine strong enough to break through the thick goo further out. There are lots of valuables left behind on the surf floor that the salvage net will enable you to haul. You just need to find the right spots. Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the GOOGLIDE, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks, squeaky distractions for the triple attentive porky puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position. The best way to find quacks is to talk to Gulp. He has the bearings of the surf archipelago and knows where the quacks like to float. This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find quacks. He only knows what's visible to the naked eye. Gulp is not much of a babbler and mostly keeps to himself and his drink. He wants you to know he has other interests too. He's the surf archipelago's self-proclaimed ornithologist, for example. There are other ways than a cold drink to relieve stress, even in these dark times, and, fortunately for you, he can help. Watching Pippi's flap is calming, but better yet are the ones you can look at and tuck. They're better at floating than flapping, so you should be able to net a few without growing yourself a pair of wings. Don't spare the jets. No one can swim this fast. Leave it behind. The Quack Hollow. It's just lonely. This won't be a field trip. It's the real thing. Needs a key. That's not opening on its own. Chop, chop. That hurt him. You can never have too many bullets. Disgusting. Biohazard. Just gross. Sharp and shiny. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Might have to find a towel after this. That's enough quacks to sustain the GOOGLIDE flipper with infinite ammunition. Goop says he was there when the Porky Puff took Out-of-Date's leg, so this World Eater has made it personal. After that, Out-of-Date started using his head instead of his legs and came up with the plan on how to best make a stand against the World Eaters, and it wasn't by foot. That's how he got tasked with rebuilding the GOOGLIDE. He seems happy to talk. We'll be around when you return.